There's a quiet shift happening online right now. Something subtle, something easy to miss, something that doesn't announce itself loudly. It's not trending in obvious ways, it's not being explained clearly to everyone, and most people scroll past it without even realizing what they just ignored. But for the few who do notice, for the ones who pause, who pay attention, who look a little deeper, it changes everything. Because what's happening right now is not just another trend, it's a shift in how people create, how people work, and most importantly, how people earn. Because earning online is no longer about doing more work. It's no longer about spending endless hours trying to figure everything out. It's not about grinding harder than everyone else. It's about working smarter, making better use of your time, and using the right tools in the right way. Tools that didn't exist a few years ago. Tools that are now accessible to almost anyone. And today, we're exploring a different set of AI tools, not just popular ones, but practical ones. Tools that are quietly helping people create income in ways that feel almost unfair once you understand them. Not because they're secret, not because they're hidden, but because most people underestimate them or don't use them properly. Not because they're complicated, but because they remove the hardest part of getting started. AI Writing and Content Tool, Copy.ai. Let's begin with something simple, something that powers almost everything you see online. Content. Every post, every caption, every blog, every product description, every ad you scroll past. It all comes down to content. And creating content consistently is one of the biggest challenges for most people. That's where Copy.ai changes the game. It helps you generate ideas instantly. It helps you write faster. It makes you move from thinking to doing. It can create captions, emails, website copy, product descriptions, even business ideas. But the real power isn't just in what it creates, it's in what it removes. It removes hesitation. That moment where you sit there staring at a blank screen, not knowing what to type, not knowing if what you're writing is good enough. Instead of being stuck, you start. And once you start, you build momentum. And once you build momentum, you become consistent. And consistency is where everything begins to change. Because online income doesn't usually start with money, it starts with visibility. And visibility starts with content. AI Image Generation Tool, Midjourney. Now let's move into something that feels different, something that feels almost unreal at first. Creating images from pure imagination. No design skills, no advanced software, no years of practice, just an idea. And that's exactly what Midjourney allows you to do. You describe something, a concept, a scene, a style, and within moments, it turns into a visual, something you can actually see, something you can actually use. People are using this in ways that didn't exist before, creating artwork, designing thumbnails, building digital products, selling prints online, even creating entire brand identities. What used to take hours, sometimes days, now happens in minutes. But the real shift goes deeper than speed. It changes who can create. You're no longer limited by your technical skills. You don't need to be a professional designer. You don't need expensive tools. You don't need years of experience. You're only limited by your imagination and how clearly you can describe it. And in a world where visuals drive attention, drive clicks, drive engagement, that's a powerful advantage to have. AI Video Creation Tool, Synthesia. Now imagine something even bigger. Creating professional-looking videos without a camera, without a microphone, without editing software, without even showing your face. That's where Synthesia comes in. It allows you to create videos using AI avatars, avatars that speak your script, deliver your message, present your content as if it were a real person. This changes everything for people who hesitate to be on camera, for people who don't have the setup, for people who want to create content without the pressure of recording. It's especially useful for educational videos, training content, online courses, explanations, tutorials. And people are already building entire businesses around this. Channels, courses, content systems, all powered by something that removes complexity. Because that's the key idea here. It removes friction. It makes the process easier, simpler, faster. And when something becomes easier to create, more people can enter, more people can try. More people can experiment. But here's what most people miss. Those who start early, those who take action quickly, they usually benefit the most because they figure things out before everyone else arrives. Let's pause for a moment, Because right now, you're learning something valuable, something practical, something you can actually use. But there's an important difference, a difference most people ignore. The difference between learning and applying. A lot of people watch content like this. They feel motivated, they feel inspired, they start imagining possibilities. But that feeling doesn't last. It fades. And then they go back to doing the same things, following the same routine, waiting for the perfect time. But a small group of people does something different. They don't try to do everything. They don't overwhelm themselves. They pick one idea, just one, and they act on it. Even if it's small, even if it's imperfect, even if they're not fully ready. Because action creates clarity, not the other way around. So here's something simple to remember as we continue. You don't need everything. You just need one starting point, one idea, one step. And that step is what separates people who watch from people who actually build something.
AI productivity tool, Notion AI.
At first glance, it looks like a simple note-taking tool, something basic, something you might overlook, but once you start using it, you realize it's much more than that. This isn't just about writing notes, it's about building a system, a structure, a space where everything you're doing actually makes sense. It helps you plan your ideas, write your content, organize your thoughts, and even generate new ideas when you feel stuck, all within the same workspace. No switching between apps, no losing track of things. You can manage projects, track your goals, break big ideas into smaller steps, and create systems that actually help you stay consistent. People are using it to run freelance businesses, manage content schedules, plan their entire week, and keep everything aligned. Because one of the biggest challenges isn't starting. Most people can start, most people feel motivated in the beginning, but staying consistent, staying organized, keeping track of everything, that's where things start to fall apart. That's where people lose momentum, and that's exactly where this tool becomes powerful. It keeps everything in front of you, and when things are organized, it becomes easier to keep going. AI Audio Enhancement Tool, Adobe Podcast AI. Now let's move into audio, but from a different angle, not creating voice, but improving it, refining it, making it sound better than it actually was when recorded. Adobe Podcast AI does exactly that. It enhances audio quality, removes background noise, cleans up imperfections, and turns something simple into something professional. Even if you record in a normal room, even if there's slight background noise, even if your setup isn't perfect, it can transform your voice into something clear, something polished, something that sounds like it was recorded in a studio. And that matters more than most people realize, because audio is one of the first things people notice. If it's unclear, if it's noisy, if it's hard to understand, people lose interest quickly. They stop listening, they move on. But when your audio is clean, easy to hear, comfortable to listen to, people stay longer, they pay attention, they connect with what you're saying. This makes it incredibly useful for podcasters, YouTubers, content creators, anyone working with voice. Because while visuals matter, clarity matters even more, and improving that one element can instantly elevate your entire content. AI Coding Tool, GitHub Copilot. Now let's move into something slightly more technical, something that used to feel difficult for most people: coding. For a long time, coding felt like a barrier, something only experts could do, something that required years of learning, practice, and deep understanding. But that's changing, and tools like GitHub Copilot are part of that shift. It helps you write code as you type, suggesting lines, completing functions, guiding you through the process. Even if you're not an expert, even if you're just starting, it acts like a support system, helping you move forward without getting stuck. People are using it to build websites, create apps, develop automation tools, turn ideas into real projects. And what makes it powerful isn't just speed, it's accessibility. It lowers the barrier. It makes something complex feel manageable. This doesn't mean you stop learning. It doesn't replace understanding, but it does make the process faster, smoother, less overwhelming. It allows you to learn while building, instead of waiting until you feel ready. And that shift is what helps people move forward faster. AI Automation and Workflow Tool, Make. Finally, let's talk about something that takes everything to the next level: scaling.
Because earning online isn't just about working harder, it's not just about doing more tasks, it's about building systems. Systems that continue working even when you're not actively involved. That's where Make comes in, previously known as Intergrammat. It's an automation tool that connects different apps, different platforms, different processes, and turns them into smooth workflows. Instead of doing everything manually, you set up systems, and those systems handle tasks for you. Things like data handling, content posting, sending messages, updating information across platforms, all happening automatically in the background without constant effort. And once these systems are in place, something interesting happens. Your time opens up, your workload feels lighter, your process becomes more efficient. This is where effort starts turning into efficiency, and efficiency creates space. Space to think, space to grow, space to do more meaningful work.
Final, reflective.
Now take a moment and imagine this. Not rushing, not overthinking, just imagining. You don't need to become an expert overnight. You don't need to master every single tool. You don't need to figure everything out at once. You just need to start exploring, slowly, step by step. Because once you take that step, things begin to shift. You learn faster, you understand more, you see opportunities you didn't notice before. The path doesn't appear all at once, but it becomes clearer with every step you take. If this gave you a new perspective, something different to think about, I'd really like to hear from you. Which of these tools caught your attention the most? Which one made you pause? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Let's talk about it. Let's explore it together. And if you want more content like this, don't forget to like the video and stay connected. Until next time, keep learning, keep building, and most importantly, keep moving forward.